The Red Sox have some life. Yes, the Red Sox finally broke their losing streak. We're going to talk about that, plus another Paul Skenes trade idea tonight. And look, I know that some people aren't the biggest fans of the Paul Skenes trade rumors because it seems incredibly unrealistic. But when big national people talk about them, I think we should talk about them, especially when the Red Sox are linked. But I'm going to ask you, what do you think the percent chance is that Paul Skenes gets traded? Scale it from a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, it's not happening. 100 being, it's 100% going to happen. It's not a 0% chance. I think it's maybe a 5, maybe 10% chance. But you let me know. Scale of 1 to 10, what do you think the percent chance is that Paul Skenes get traded? And the reason why we're talking about this is because Jim Bowden of The Athletic put out an article talking about 5 teams and 5 trade packages that could potentially get Paul Skenes. The Red Sox were one of the teams mentioned. So obviously we're going to talk about this and react to this. Again, I don't think it's going to happen. 5 to 10% chance, if that. That's probably being a little overzealous, honestly. But Bowden, he lays out some good reasons why it could happen. And then again, he mentions the Red Sox. He calls the Red Sox one of the potential destinations. So we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about why Bowden thinks it makes sense for Skenes to get traded first. We'll talk about those quotes. I'll give my thoughts, and then we'll talk about the actual Red Sox element of this. Here's what Bowden had to say. He said, the Pittsburgh Pirates have no plans to trade Paul Skenes. Like I said, 5 to 10% chance, if that. He said, that's what they're saying publicly through general manager Ben Cherington, and that's what they're making clear to other teams behind the scenes. But that doesn't mean they won't listen to inquiries and perform their due diligence in case they're overwhelmed by a franchise-changing offer. Skenes would be the most valuable trade asset in decades because of his more than 4 years of team control remaining, and he's the hardest type of player to acquire in the majors, a true ace. He's also making $740,000 a year and won't be arbitration eligible until 2027. And even in arbitration, he's likely to remain a bargain deal for what he is. This is the big kicker right here, and this is why I think it makes a lot of sense. Under owner Bob Nutting, the Pirates know that they're never going to commit $350 to $400 million that it would take to prevent Skenes from going to free agency. And although the Pirates have the option of trading Skenes anywhere from now to 2029, they also know that the risk of injury comes with waiting. His trade value may never be higher than right now. I completely agree with Bowden. When Paul Skenes is a free agent in 2029, or whenever, 23rd, whenever, that offseason, he will not re-sign with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pirates fans enjoy it now because he is not returning, because Bob Nutting has shown time and time again that he is not willing to invest in the team. If we think John Henry's bad, Bob Nutting is one of the worst. So if you're going to lose him in free agency, don't let him just walk for nothing. If you can get a franchise-altering trade, which Paul Skenes would be the most expensive trade chip we have ever seen, why not do it now when his value may be at his highest? Because again, Paul Skenes throws a lot of innings and he throws hard, high velocity. I would never wish for an injury, but those ingredients do not bode well. And while he is at an all-time high, why risk it? So that's why I do think this makes at least a little bit of sense for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And so it's something to think about. Jim Bowden projected a trade for the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox were one of the few teams that he talked about, that says something. Because all these other sites have linked the Red Sox and talked about Red Sox trade rumors and this and that and the other thing. But Jim Bowden of The Athletic, who I think is a very reputable writer, he's talking about the Red Sox as a legitimate option. And a lot of that has to do with what they could offer. Here's what Bowden had to say about the Red Sox in particular. He said, to start the package, the Red Sox could offer Roman Anthony, the top position player prospect in baseball, whom the Pirates could promote to the majors immediately, giving him a chance to win NL Rookie of the Year this season. They'd also improve their long-term future by acquiring middle infielder Franklin Arias, a power bat in Justin Gonzalez, and a power arm in Luis Perales. Meanwhile, for Boston, a rotation led by Skenes and Garrett Crochet would be a game changer. So that is the proposed trade package. Roman Anthony, Franklin Arias, Justin Gonzalez, Luis Perales go to Pittsburgh, and the Red Sox receive Paul Skenes. I'm going to give my thoughts in a second, but this is the question I want to know from all of you. Would you trade Roman Anthony if that meant you were getting Paul Skenes? I'll give my answer in a second, but type T for trade if you would. P for pass if you would not. Now, bear in mind, Christian Campbell and Marcelo Meyer are not a part of this trade. It's just Roman Anthony of the big three. So you let me know. T for trade, P for pass. Would you trade Roman Anthony for Paul Skenes? I'm considering it. You can call me crazy. You can call me a traitor. You can call me whatever you want. I'm considering it. As we know right now, why is Roman Anthony not up on this team? One, service time manipulation. But two, the outfield is full. You have 3 young options already in the outfield. Okay? Okay. If you could get a generational pitcher who I assume and think will probably go down as one of the greatest pitching talents we have ever seen. If you can get that on your team to pair with another generational arm in Garrett Crochet, you've got to consider it. Now, we talked about the trade a few videos ago that included all 3 of the big 3. I would not do that. But the fact that you're only giving up 1, yes, it is Roman Anthony. It would hurt. It would sting. This is a player that we are all highly anticipating, that we are all incredibly excited about. I get it. I understand. I get it. But if that's all you have to give up, along with a few other prospects, but, they are what they are. If that's all you have to give up to get Paul Skenes, I think you have to at least consider it. Again, the trade idea with all 3 of them, you laugh, hang up the phone, because that's your future. But if you only got to give up 1 of them, man, call me crazy, but I'm considering it. Again, you let me know, T for trade, P for pass. What do you think? I think Jim Bowden has a lot of really good points. I think it is something we should listen to. And again, that trade proposal, it doesn't seem that bad. I'm going to be honest. Now, would the Pirates say yes to that? I don't know. They might want a Christian Campbell or Marcelo Meyer. They may want more. I don't know. But the number 1 prospect in baseball, that could make an instant impact right now in their lineup. That's pretty appeasing. But again, like I said, maybe a 5% chance, if that a trade for Paul Skenes happens this year. We are going to get into Liam Hendriks injury news because that roster news did happen today, plus recap the Red Sox win in a second. But first, if you've not already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you do so. News, rumors, injury updates, trade rumors. We're going to do an MLB draft video tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. If you love everything Boston Red Sox baseball, this is the place for you. Hit that subscribe button. We just hit our goal of 2,000. We're on the way to 3,000. Hit it right now. Join the family. Let's continue to be the fastest growing Red Sox YouTube channel on the internet. Big move that happened today. Didn't happen the day before, which I guess was a little surprising, but move that happened today. Nick Birdie got called up from Worcester, and of course, corresponding move, a pitcher was going to have to go. People were speculating Liam Hendriks, and it was Liam Hendriks. Gabriel Starr had the news. Red Sox make it official. Liam Hendriks to the 15-day injured list, retroactive to May 28th, with right hip inflammation. And then Nick Burdi got recalled from Worcester. Chris Cotillo had a little bit more information as well. He said a source with knowledge of Liam Hendriks' recent medical history said that Hendriks has been dealing with multiple hernias, contending that the issues date back to around May 8th when Hendriks went 2 innings for the first time. So, conflicting. I don't know. I think we all can kind of assume this is also another phantom IL. Hendriks has not looked good. And so this might just be, get him off his feet, give him some time to recover, get his mind right, figure out any mechanical things he needs to do. He joins Masataka Yoshida and Tanner Houck on the phantom IL. Let's figure it out. You bring up Nick Burdi, who when he was up last time, pitched pretty well. It's an interesting option. Didn't pitch last night. I would assume we see him today or at some point tomorrow. I'm fine with it. No issues for me. I think that, it's interesting. It's interesting. You have Hendriks a week ago at this point complaining about his playing time, and now he's on the IL. I don't know. Hopefully it's not a long-term thing. Hopefully he heals up and gets better, but he wasn't performing. I would assume this is a phantom IL thing, but we never know. But yeah. That's the one move that happened today. We thought a bunch of stuff was going to happen on Thursday. Nothing happened on Thursday. And then this move happened yesterday. Red Sox win 5-1. They snapped their losing streak. Desperately needed. At the time of recording this, the Yankees are currently beating the Dodgers, so you're not going to make up any ground in the East. But maybe the Dodgers pull out a win. We shall see. Lucas Giolito went 4 2/3. Only 85 pitches. He said after the game he was a little bit surprised, but Matt Olson was coming up to the plate, and Olson has kind of owned him. And I do also think it was also a combination of kind of what happened with Garrett Crochet a few outings ago as well. Just kind of, giving them a little bit of leeway and some, not overdoing it with them. He looked good. 5 hits, one run, 2 walks, 3 Ks. He didn't implode. We have the every other game is a really good game than a really bad game. He held his own. And look, we saw the Braves. We've already seen the Braves. They're not bad. They're not a good team, but they're not a bad team. And they got Ronald Acuna Jr. back. And you kind of held Ronald Acuna Jr. at bay tonight, which was really, really good to see. The bullpen continues to hold down this team, which after that stretch they had, a few weeks ago, for them to be one of the most consistent parts of this team is really great to see. Justin Wilson won 1/3 of an inning. He got a K, got out of it easy. Garrett Whitlock went 1 2/3, which was really great to see. 2 Ks, 1 walk, 1 hit, no runs. Brandon Bernardino comes in to finish that inning with a third of an inning. Doesn't, nothing happening there. Greg Weisser comes in the 8th, has a perfect 8th. Then Aroldis Chapman comes in the 9th, 2 Ks, and finishes it out. I think that the pitching tonight looked really, really solid. I was very happy with it, and it corresponded well with the lineup actually doing things. Jarren Duran was the weak point tonight. 0 for 5, 1 K. He has those nights, but most nights he's hitting well. So I'm not going to really harp on that. He's hitting 274, almost a 750 OPS. Like, he's getting those numbers up from kind of mightily struggling at some points in the season. So it is what it is. Rafael Devers had a big night, 2 for 4 with the 2 RBIs. He also had a walk as well. He had those 2 insurance runs in the 9th, which were really, really, really big for Boston. Willier, nothing much tonight, 0 for 2. He had a walk, 2 Ks. Carlos Narvaez had a hit tonight. He also scored a run. He did strike out twice, though. Marcelo Meyer went 0 for 4 tonight with 2 Ks. Did make some good contact, though, and he had a great play out in the field tonight. He looked really, really good. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Trevor Story and Abraham Toro we'll talk about in a second. Christian Campbell went 2 for 4 tonight. Great to see. I think Christian Campbell is one of the most unluckiest hitters in all of baseball, because in the last few weeks, whenever he's had hard contact, every play's been like a Gold Glove worthy play, and most of the times when he strikes out looking, it's like egregiously bad calls or calls like dotted up on the zone. He's been one of the most unlucky hitters in baseball, and I know we all want to harp on him like not hitting well, and he hasn't. He's been cold as of late, but a lot of times he's gotten really, really unlucky. 2 for 4 tonight. He's starting to come around. I feel good about him. Rafael also went 2 for 4 tonight, which was really great to see. But I mean, the two biggest names of the night were Abraham Toro and Trevor Story. Trevor Story, 1 for 4 tonight, but he had the 2-run home run. An absolute moonshot. I believe it went 421 feet, which I believe is the longest home run he's hit as a member of the Boston Red Sox. That's all he did tonight. He struck out 3 times, but it's a step in the right direction. I'm still skeptical. I tweeted it tonight. I said, I'm not convinced that one hit means that he's back, because he's done it before. He's gotten a home run and then he's gone cold again. I'm not convinced that he's back. But it's a positive thing to see. So I'm glad it happened. I hope he keeps it up because he desperately needs to. But good to see Trevor Story make some contact tonight and actually do something when we've desperately needed him to do it. But Abraham Toro's the star of the night. 3 for 4, 1 run, 1 RBI, only struck out once, had a clutch stretch at first base that event initially was the runner was called safe and a run scored. But it turned out he stretched just long enough to get the ball in the glove, have his foot on the base. Really clutch play for him. He's like, I talked about this in my perfect lineup a few days ago. He's your most consistent first baseman right now. He's been hitting the ball well. He's been very clutch, and he's played a good defensive first base. He's my first baseman. Like, Christian Campbell is probably going to play there on Sunday. If he looks even a little bit hesitant, I think you just keep Campbell at second and Toro's your first baseman. I mean, he hasn't done anything for you to take him off of first base. He is Dom Smith of this year. I can't give credit. I saw someone tweet that tonight. I forget who it was, but he's looked good. And so that's a really positive thing that your first baseman is kind of locking it down as of late. And the Red Sox get a much, much needed win tonight. It's great to go to bed tonight and not be angry at a Red Sox loss. Like, just a good team win. And that doesn't happen very often. You had good defense, good pitching, good hitting. Great. That's great to see. Of course, they didn't look perfect. A lot of different things. They were throwing the ball around at some points, some strikeouts, bad base running by Duran at one point. Like, there were mistakes, but you did enough solid, good, consistent to win. So that made me feel good. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to lay my head down tonight and sleep well. I'm going to sleep well. Will the Red Sox win the series? They can win it tomorrow. You let me know. Yes or no down below in the comments. So all you got to do is just type yes or type no. Let me know in the comments. Will they win the series? I think you kind of got to win tomorrow, or today, today at the time you're watching this, because you got Crochet on Sunday, but they have Spencer Strider. I'm very much looking forward to that pitching matchup, but Strider's a dog. So win today, I think, is your best shot. But you let me know. Yes or no, do they win this series? That's it, guys. That's where I'm going to sign off. I appreciate y'all so much for taking the time to watch the video. Back in the home setup today. It's just great to see a win. Hopefully they keep it going today. Win the series. And hey, if they win today, maybe go for the sweep tomorrow with Crochet on them. We'll see. That's pretty much it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I appreciate y'all. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And until next time, go Sox.